Hey guys, welcome to Big Time Super Friends. This is our official Batman vs. Superman spoiler review. If you do not want to be spoiled at all, click away, add this to your favorites, come back to it. We will be discussing everything in this. Our the expectations, the characters, the likes, the dislikes, our rating score, the whole nine. And with that note, these are our panel guests for today.
Most of the world doesn't share your opinion, Mr. Wayne. I'm Brian.
You're not brave. Men are brave. And I'm Toby.
Maybe it's the Gotham City in me. We just have a bad history with freaks dressed like clowns. And I'm Leo.
Do you bleed? I did a little. I'm Marcus. Let's just talk character-wise for a second.
Okay.
Let's just talk Henry Cavill. What are you guys' thoughts on Henry?
I think
Henry
he
Cavill?
upped his game on this one.
I think so too.
I think I was watching Man of Steel last night, and I realized in this one, Superman was already flying at his full potential. I mean, every time he took off, it was Mach speed. Boom!
Oh,
boom.
yeah.
It was exploding every time it was taking off. I love that. I love that he was already using his eye lasers for everything. I wanted to see a lot of that in the first one, which it was. I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad they just in this one it was all eye lasers almost. So, all eye lasers. Everything was a laser attack.
I like how they added that little, when he's flying, he's like you can hear the boom, boom,
Yeah.
and it's just
Like
like
him breaking the barrier.
he's breaking the sound barrier,
Yeah.
and that he has like this cloud-like
Ripple effect.
right behind him, and I just thought, man, that's so
Him
awesome,
breaking-
it's so cool.
yeah.
It definitely beats like the Christopher Reeves kind of.
Oh yeah, knocks him out of the park, man.
I mean,
Even the Brandon Routh one.
yeah.
Well,
Even
I mean,
And I kind of like that one.
Yeah, you have to take into consideration the times, though.
Right,
I mean,
right.
you have a lot more special effects that you can work with now. You know what I mean?
And I
So-
liked when he would like come from the air, he would come down and then he would touch down, and it looked so fluid. It didn't look unnatural.
Yeah.
What do you think of him as far as there was a scene in the beginning where he's saving Lois Lane and he pretty much annihilated one dude.
He went bullet speed at the guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm pretty sure he didn't make it past
No.
that first wall.
No.
he went through number
Right.
4.
That was like instant neck snap as soon as he got caught by the force.
Yeah.
Or something.
He was dead already. He was he went through.
Before he hit the wall.
before he hit the wall,
He had a heart attack.
That's desecration of human remains.
That's dust.
I mean,
He's like, you want to be cremated?
Yeah.
you could have
Eye lasers and shit.
For
I'll do it
real.
for free.
but you know what's happening because Lois Lane gave that little she put her hands down and she did one of those
Do
what
it.
you
She's like,
gotta
go ahead,
You're the man.
You know what I mean? So
Take him out.
As soon as that happened, though, I thought, oh man, some people are just gonna hate that he
Yeah.
just killed someone just right then and there. But
Right.
you know what? I'm tired of living in the 1980s and the fucking
superheroes. Have to
Superman
change.
can't even kill an
superheroes.
ant.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like they gotta evolve a little bit. My favorite Henry Cavill scene is not the action part when he's fighting Batman, but I don't know why this is my favorite, but when he's in the courtroom,
I love that scene, man.
highly unexpected.
With the explosion.
Yeah, with the explosion.
Oh god, and he's just standing there so disappointed. Like, how
Yeah.
did I miss that?
Yes.
How did I miss that? He was just
because he went down to the human level.
he did.
That's where his
exactly
mistake
why.
was.
He's all teary eyed.
Yeah.
And he's all like, I mean,
Right.
just like, you could
Surrounded
just
by
see,
fire and
Yeah.
Well, what
all
did he
the carnage.
say? He's like, it's not that I didn't hear it; it's that I wasn't looking for
Yeah,
it.
I wasn't
Yeah.
looking for it.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
He wasn't on his guard.
And I just knew, like, oh man, for sure, like there are gonna be some like DC haters and just some fans that are
care,
gonna be
man.
like, oh man, these, you fucking, he killed some more people, blah blah blah, some irrational.
Well, he didn't kill anybody. Lex Luthor did.
Well, you know what was I don't want to talk Lex Luther yet, but that was my favorite Henry Cavill scene. Was
Yeah, I enjoyed that scene
it
a
was
lot.
that because it let you know kind of the human side of him, like the disappointment, the oh man, like you can see himself, he's beating himself up, like right then and there, like in the fire. I don't know. I don't know about your guys' favorite Henry Cavill moments, but that was definitely mine.
Mine was, after watching Man of Steel, I watched it like 2 or 3 times, and I felt like him playing Superman, I didn't quite believe him as to be a Superman,
In the Man of Steel.
Yeah, but Batman versus Superman, like you said, he came back to that human level to where he was almost relatable for me.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Especially when him and Bats were duking it out toward the end, and he's not even caring about like the fight itself. He's just like, oh, go save my mom. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of like, you know what I mean? Like brought it relatable to me. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay. You know, he doesn't really care about this. You know, it's not an issue for him.
Which
I think that's why I liked him so much more. I mean, in the beginning of this movie, it takes place in part of Man of Steel, you know, where they're tearing up all these buildings and everything like that, and 18 months pass, a year and a half passes. So that whole tearing up inside when he like snapped Zod's neck, you know, like he had to evolve. Like that took an effect on him. Like that had a toll on him. And I think that kind of shone through in this movie, because I think he kind of he evolved to be a better fit for that world. Like sometimes you got to do that. You know what I mean? Whether you agree or not, it's true.
And he was clearly disappointed by the times that he had to step up like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He wasn't like, oh, like, you know, I do this every
What
day.
happened
anything.
in Man
he
of
was,
Steel
he was
when he killed him?
disappointed.
He broke down.
And
he
was
just
like,
down.
ah!
You know what I
Like,
mean? So he doesn't want to do
any
it.
of us would have done that.
But you have to.
Yeah.
Even
You know
when
what I
he's
mean?
taken off to go fight Batman, and he tells Lois that sometimes you have to be the bad guy, basically, is what he's saying to her.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it.
sometimes you can't be all good. Or
Yeah.
something.
And
Sometimes you
he
have
even
to be
said,
a
he's
little
like,
bad.
I have to go there and convince him to help me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he's going
Or
there.
kill him.
No,
Yeah.
Like he's going
or
there
have to kill him.
thinking
Yeah.
that Batman's already going to be like, he already
Against
has
them,
it out for him.
100%.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So he's like, I got to convince him, like, that's not the best option here. You know?
Man, the thing with the whole killing thing, when we talk about Zod and all that good stuff from Man of Steel, you know, Zod told him right then and there, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
You know, as he's lasering as it's getting closer and closer to the family, he's like, I am not stopping. And yeah, I mean, completely understandable. I don't think there is a guy today, if you were to give him Superman powers, that if there's like a serial killer on the
That
loose,
would
he's
kill
gonna
him.
tear him in half.
like if he like burned down churches or something, I don't know, something like drastic, dude. You can't if Hitler was still alive,
Right.
you'd be like, okay, send Superman over there.
Yeah.
You gotta take him out.
Take his
You gotta-
arms off and shit.
Do something, you know. What about the Batman? Ben
The
Affleck,
Batman.
the Batman.
Look, I will say this right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat, man. You know what I mean? I think Ben Affleck was I think he's better than Christian Bale as Batman. First of all,
Hands
I think
down.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, right.
He's the best
I think-
Batman.
I think it's starting to show that gritty side of Batman that I kind of want. I don't like this kind of goody two shoes dude all the time.
I was afraid of this Batman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If I was in that movie, if I was that cop going up those stairs, hearing those sounds, and then you see that guy branded, when I first saw the scene where he's like clinging
Up
to the
in the
wall, and then he moves like a crab around, spinning,
I would have.
that was amazing.
I would have dropped the fucking
Yeah,
rifle.
I would have dropped it
ran
too.
out of
I
there
would've
screaming like a
I would have
bitch.
ducked. I would have
He's
ducked.
going around like a crab.
Yeah.
If you slow it down, he's like
Oh, he's clawing his way around, man.
Looks like the fucking exorcist. You know, she was fucking walking.
Pretty much.
walking on sunshine. Right
But
there.
he was actually like the first Batman I've seen that was actually kind of, he was scary a little
Yeah.
bit. Like the
He was intimidating.
sound,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
I mean,
He was
he instilled
intimidating.
fear, man.
Yeah,
He embodied fear.
I think it was honestly because of kind of his stature too. Like he was built, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was
yeah.
buff.
Oh yeah.
You don't wanna
And I
fuck with
think
that
when he puts on the suit and he's the same size as Superman, like
Oh,
he's
bigger. He's
physique
bigger.
wise, you know
Yeah,
what I
he's
mean?
bigger than Superman.
Yeah, he's taller
Like
than
that's,
Superman.
I guess, a little intimidating, but I liked it. I think it's good. I think it's a refreshing take on him.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's branding motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's
He's
what I was
using
gonna
different
say.
tactics
like,
now.
Like Batman in this movie impressed me a lot. I didn't have, like I said before, I didn't have a huge expectation of him. You know, I thought he was gonna suck, but like everybody said here, and pretty much in agreement, that we're intimidated by fucking Batman, and like You could tell. You could tell he's like what 40, late 30s maybe.
I mean,
he's
gray in his
fucking.
hair and shit.
He's weathered. He doesn't care anymore.
No.
That's why he's branding people.
Right. Oh,
yeah.
He's like, fuck this shit. These motherfuckers keep popping out of the woodworks, so I'm gonna keep branding them to make sure. You know what I mean?
If I run into you again,
2 strikes you're out.
He's gonna keep branding them. But you know, he reminded me of Batman in the Arkham video game series.
That's
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially the fighting.
like built wise and the fighting.
Yeah.
and you know, a little bit of John Wick in there too, or at least like you know when it came to like the whole CQC,
the combat,
and the gun thing. It's like, man,
I was gonna say Jason Bourne-ish.
yeah, you know what I mean.
It's been kind of we talked about it a few podcasts ago. How I think me and you were the ones that were against Ben Affleck being
Yeah,
Batman.
I was.
And I mean, just hands down, if you hate this movie, even if you hate this movie, all
can't
the
deny it.
haters I've seen across the board say this is the best fucking Batman I've ever seen.
Even with the gadgetry, I thought was awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's another point I would like to ring home with the whole Batman from the Arkham video game series, because he had like all the little awesome gadgets, and he really like put them to use in like innovative ways, like with the kryptonite and the
grenade launcher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the grenade
grenade
launcher
launcher.
was awesome, because like Superman grabbed that shit and he didn't even know what to expect.
Right.
And
I
they just
didn't
went-
even know what to expect.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck.
I thought that was going to backfire on him.
Yeah.
I thought he was like, you know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
was like,
that
oh, he
didn't-
caught it.
That
Oh,
didn't
there's
work.
no way you got, it's like, and then all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, even I was caught off guard. Like, oh, motherfuckers,
Like
putting
this-
them in bullets. You know,
He's never done that.
yeah, because I
In
know
the
the
history of-
spear. The spear.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That's
I was
pretty
just like,
crude and rudimentary weapon.
I was like, he's saving that for sure. Like for the final
Blow.
He
final
did give us a
blow.
little preview though, because when he was showing like in the Batcave and stuff, you just saw gas, but
Right.
you didn't know how he was going to use it.
And then right
you know
after
what
that,
I
he
mean?
was putting the bullets on the shelving.
When did you see the
Yeah.
Batcave from the Gat? Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
remember?
Yeah.
He was
The testing
weaponizing
phase.
it.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
weaponizing it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Another cool thing was how Batman was working out, like the
Oh,
working
yeah.
out montage.
The workout scene
He
was-
wasn't like using like the usual like the steel weights or anything. He was just actually doing like the strongman competition shit.
That's what.
with,
Yeah,
with,
the
like,
tires.
the
I think he was.
ropes
I think he was
and the
working
tires.
straight up
Battle
just
ropes.
on strength.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
And it showed, like it really showed
Right.
in his suit and his like even his normal.
he's
physique.
Right.
like he's all beefy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he wasn't going for agility or like
Yeah.
speed or anything. Like that. Like, no,
Fuck all that agility. I'm just gonna punch you in the fucking face. You know?
that's what he's going for.
he was like a bouncer physique.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He was. There was this one time I kind of got a little worried when he's about to steal the kryptonite from the truck that they were loading it in, and you see him with a fucking sniper, and I'm thinking,
yeah.
oh, is that a real sniper? But it was just a tracking device
Yeah.
that he used to shoot. What was it?
I was gonna bitch
Tracking
you, bro.
dart.
Like
Yeah.
for real,
Like,
I was gonna
oh,
bitch
like-
a sniper rifle.
like-
oh my god, you're taking this shit too far now.
It's a bat rifle, bro.
The bat rifle.
What do you think of Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman.
I wonder what he thinks.
Oh man, I agree with another friend that we have here that's not on camera. I feel like her physique just kind of killed it for me. Like she's too skinny. I wanted somebody with a bigger physique, somebody that matches actually Wonder Woman, and she didn't really show any acting chops. I don't understand why people thought she was the bright side of the movie, because I was like, I was like meh about her, you know
Well,
what
she
I mean?
didn't really have a whole lot of lines
Yeah,
as
That's why-
Wonder Woman.
She had
You
like
know
a
what I mean?
paragraph, maybe.
yeah.
You know, I think most of the lines that you heard from her were out of that character.
And the only bright side to her was her fight choreography. I think I felt that was really cool.
I would say this: Wonder Woman kicked ass in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Because-
with Brian on this one.
She handed it to Doomsday, man.
Yeah, even when
She cut off his hand.
when Superman
Yeah.
took that little break to go like save Lois, like she was holding him off.
She can
you know,
hold
by
him down,
herself
yeah.
because Batman was in the back and not doing the shit.
He was like, he was waiting for the right time.
Yeah. He's like, I got one round left. I'm saving.
He was waiting in the wings.
He's all hiding behind the rock and shit. I'm like, what the?
But what can he do though? against all these
The only
superhuman.
thing he did was distract.
Yeah.
Well, when he
He
was
did,
like grappling from building the
Yeah.
building. You know what I mean?
Crabbing, dude. He's crabbing his way along the walls.
If you really think about it, in that fight scene with with the Trinity and Doomsday, Batman really would just run like a little bitch. I mean, honestly, he's repelling left and right.
Yeah.
And he's just waiting behind a rock.
Would
and-
you stand in the way of a blast?
No, I mean I understand he has to do it.
That's the human. That's the human instinct.
yeah, no, you want to run.
Fucking
you know?
run.
Let's just say he was the most evasive.
Right.
Anytime he had some speed to him.
He was the only one that didn't get punched by Doomsday.
He hid in the night.
He's the knight.
Oh shit! When it comes to Gal Gadot, I'm with Brian. I think she kicked ass. I think my biggest fear was she's just not a great actress. I just think she's not a great caliber actress, and she did pretty well, considering her character outsmarted Bruce Wayne, like by jacking him.
And then putting it back in his car.
And putting it back in his car.
Jacking his car. Before he
Yeah. Like breaking into his car. She only did it
B&D.
once.
Yeah.
But it's like
I don't know if that was like outsmarting him the first time when she stole it. She was just like fucking outright stole it.
He
Like,
underestimated
let's be
her,
real.
though. But he underestimated
Yeah.
her. Like,
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
would-
she got away in the party and put it back in the car without even Batman knowing it.
Yeah.
Like, think about how many people actually get around to actually
Do that to him.
doing that to Batman.
Yeah.
Batman
around
is
the
like,
bat?
yeah.
And it was his tech. by
Oh
the way.
yeah. I mean,
So
but I mean, granted, she couldn't access it, right? It was
No,
Batman that
right.
accessed it and gave
Yeah.
her the files. But
I would have liked to see her try to access it like at her home computer, trying to decrypt that. Like, oh fuck! Like, why did I take this?
It's like an Acer laptop. Like,
Let me attach it to like a sticky note into his glove compartment. Sorry, bad.
where's the paperclip? I need its help.
she just plugs it in. Oh shit, it's encrypted. Fuck it. Damn. I should have got a Mac. Damn. But the thing is, I was also worried about her physique. Going in, I'm thinking, okay, maybe too thin. But
I think she was all right, man.
I think she was
I
okay.
saw her
I think
legs
she
look
was
pretty beefy, man.
her leg, I was
They weren't
completely
paper
happy with
thin.
it.
I think she was okay.
I was
I think
completely
so
happy
too.
with it.
Yeah. I think
so too.
And besides, when she showed up, I didn't like when she showed up, did her lines or did a scene with Batman or the Doomsday thing. I never thought, man, she's too skinny there.
Look,
Like-
man, her music was amazing.
Yeah.
The score.
Yeah.
Like it comes on the drums. Tung, tung,
Dude,
tung.
it sounds very tribal.
It
Like
sounds
war,
like
tribal bumps,
tribal,
bro.
exactly.
Yeah.
like a Warriors theme,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It was great.
You could say it sounded Amazonian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was it was better than Batman's or
Oh,
Superman's.
but Batman's
yeah.
was
It
pretty.
just
The Batman
so
suite's pretty
catchy.
amazing, though.
And she showed up like this, like
Blocking the blast.
She's so strong. She's strong enough that she's deflecting multiple
Blasts.
a blast from Doomsday. I'm just thinking
With and without the shield.
how tough is that shield though? Because she took a few punches and the shield was
Yeah.
like bing bing. It's
Yeah.
like it didn't break at all.
No. Captain America's shield can't do that.
And she
Just saying.
yeah, I mean, it's true.
Just saying.
But the thing is she's the only one that officially damaged Doomsday
Yeah?
by
Yeah.
chopping his
She-
arm
yeah.
off, slicing his like
His
calf.
leg,
Yeah.
yeah, she bounced
She
him
is
up and
cut-
shit.
yeah.
like
Cut his arm off. Come on, man. That's
they were
badass.
both double team. Superman and Batman, Superman and Wonder Woman were both double teaming.
Yeah,
the
they were cutting
shit
him
out-
down.
While
To
Batman's
be fair,
like-
though, her weapons are magical nature.
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The magic lasso.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like the entire time, I can just picture like Batman just in the back, like, oh, fuck.
He's
Watching,
like,
just move.
He's like, oh fuck.
he's like, yeah.
Give him the left. Give him the left. Give him the right. Go.
He's like the UFC guy. Like,
Yeah. He's like,
He's the hype guy. He's the hype guy.
cut him.
he's coming. He's over there.
That's so.
He's actually like distracting Wonder Woman. What? You're not fast enough to see those punches, Batman.
But Batman looked like a little, slightly like a little
bitch.
wimp
Yeah,
there,
yeah, he
because
did.
he couldn't punch him, he
Right.
couldn't physically
Physically
hurt him,
engage him. Yeah.
And what did he have? He had one bullet, one gun. It was just like,
Yeah.
And he used it at the
he
right
couldn't
time.
use it
He used it
until
at
the right time,
Yeah.
which was towards the end. But he did have his moments, at the end fight scene when he's saving Martha Kent.
I also like the flashbacks. I mean, the dream sequence with the Flash. where he
So
came.
flashback, bro.
Well, the flash flashback. I mean, that was pretty. That was a cool way to introduce him.
That was the part that actually bothered me a
Really?
lot.
Really?
Yeah, because like it was the nightmare
secret's out.
sequence itself. It stopped, right? So
The what? The what? The
The
what?
nightmare.
the nightmare sequence,
okay,
it
yeah.
stopped. Then the Flash came. So what was that? Was that just like a premonition of Flash coming in his dream, or was that like actually happening in the real world?
I'm curious
And if
about that,
so,
too.
was that a future Flash from his universe, or was it like part of a grander
I was reading
type universe, like
that
an
it was
alternate
a
universe?
future Flash coming back.
Yeah, because
and it was
which they're showing the Speed Force at that
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
He said while he was talking to Bruce,
Introducing
he's
it.
like, "Did I come back far enough?" He said that
Yeah.
line. Did I come back far enough?
And he
he
was
said,
like,
"You have to find us. You were right. You got to find us."
Yeah.
Yeah, you were right
Lois
about
is the
him.
key.
And
Lo-
Lois
yes.
is the key.
Yeah.
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 Lois is the key.
So was that referring to what we saw in this movie, talking about like Superman? Like, hey, you were right about Superman, or
Could be like he was a legitimate threat in that world, in that
Yeah.
reality, because maybe when Superman met Batman and he's all chained up, he takes off his mask. He's like, I think he said, you took the only thing away,
Yeah.
like you took her away from me, or
Yeah,
some shit
right,
like that.
right.
Meaning, I'm assuming he was referring to Lois, not
Yeah.
the mom. But yeah, I mean, I love that scene because it was. It's not straight out of Injustice, the comic book, or anything, but it's something very, very similar happens in the Injustice comic book where Lois Lane does die. In first issue, Lois Lane does die. And Superman becomes kind of a little military-ish, kind of like he wants to protect you from you. Like he's like overprotective. He's going around ruling just to make sure everyone doesn't hurt each other. He's that guy. So that's what it reminded me of. I am confused with the dream sequence when the Flash showed up. We raised a good point. It's like, well, was it a part of his reality that,
or was it like a straight up premonition? Because that at this point you're kind of ruining Batman's character with like a mystical premonition, because that's what it is, right? Like whenever you receive like some kind of
had that sequence and that was like actually what happened. I think that I would have liked that a little bit more. But when he woke up twice, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, you're gonna wake up a third time.
well, the
At the end of the movie, you're gonna wake up again.
Well,
the
what if
first
he was
time-
remembering? What if he was remembering it actually having happened?
What do you mean? Like it never happened?
Like
but
it actually happened, but he was remembering it in his dream, and then he woke up with the memory of that.
And then he went back to sleep. So he could
No,
wake
no,
up
no.
again later.
I mean, you're saying he's remembering what happened in the future,
No.
and then, but those events never happened yet. So I mean, there's no way he could remember something that hasn't happened yet.
Well,
It's confusing as all hell.
time
It
travel,
is. Yeah, it
anything's
is.
possible.
But
It is.
what do you think of?
and
the,
then if so, is the Flash so fast that he could reach people in their dreams with the Speed Force?
that's what I'm curious.
You know what I
about,
mean?
too.
If it
That's what
was
looked like.
part of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, that nightmare sequence,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense at the very least.
Maybe
you know
it
what I mean?
vibrates same speed as like rapid eye movement. It's like in your mind.
you know what is well, we're probably going to get a better answer in the extra 30 minutes, dude, for sure. Like I'm pretty confident that we're going to get extra answers.
The extra 30 minutes isn't him like struggling. It's just him
It's like,
talking to him. Like,
well, no, because I'm thinking
It's going to show when the Flash actually does show up,
I'm thinking. Well, yeah. Well, I'm thinking
because that's my guess. He
What
already
if-
did show up.
What if?
Yeah.
What if in that reality Lois Lane does die, and Superman does become the threat? We already know Darkseid's coming anyway. Superman becomes the threat, and the Flash in that reality says, "Fuck that! Let me go
Right.
back
Right.
and let me fix this." I mean, he had like some tech on him. He had
Right.
like some
Yeah.
robot gear on him.
He looked like he was a mech almost, like
yeah, I
like a
didn't know who
small
he was at
mech, like
first.
an armored
Right.
suit, power suit.
Well, because the helmet
actually.
opens up.
yeah.
Which was
helmet
weird
opens up,
because
yeah.
like later on in the film we don't see him with that suit.
Right.
We
He's
see
just
him
in,
like
some
like
convenience
stepping around.
store.
civilian
Yeah.
with
some milk.
clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most impressive thing is he beat the crook without dropping the milk at all. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still there.
Yeah.
What about
Lex Luthor?
Lex Luther? Lex Luther, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get like a divide with maybe just not us, but also the fans.
I
for
actually
sure.
felt it was a good choice because every Lex Luthor we've seen has been on the drier, more serious note. The closest Lex Luthor to me was the Dick Donner Lex Luthor. He was a little more on the comical side. He would cackle a little bit. He was a little
But
more
I'm like,
jovial.
that's his son, though. That's
With
not
Gene Hackman?
necessarily-
Yeah, with Gene Hackman. Yeah, thank you.
Gene Hackman.
But I mean, you have to imagine there's some trauma that Lex has to have endured from a father like that. So I'm sure he's on the loony side, but tries to keep it together because he's running fucking LexCorp.
Yeah, he hinted when he was talking to Superman on the roof that his father would punch him, and,
Right.
So he would probably encountered a lot of abuse growing up.
Right.
You know what? I'm right in the middle on that one because I admire them for doing a ballsier Lex Luthor, something different.
Right.
We just haven't seen a Lex Luthor like that. But then it didn't pay off for me going in. There wasn't something that was just like, wow, he's great. He's a great Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing that I thought on the second viewing. Okay, this is a prelude to the actual movies that we want to see. This is just like a teaser. It's the entree to the whole MDCU that they're trying to come up with. So I personally didn't mind this type of a performance because there were moments when Lex almost showed like a darker side. His tone dropped, especially when he was talking to the center in the room. The twitches and the voice. I mean, his voice was going up and down because I think he was trying to.
Yeah, he was fucking with them.
He was going between those waves of where his personality is probably going to end up in the next movies. So my guess is he's going to change. This is an evolving Lex in my mind.
I like.
So I didn't mind it.
I
liked it.
Completely agree with you with the face twitches, the pitches in his voice. And I think you're right. I may just change my opinion on this just because you make a good point. This is kind of like the Luthor before Lex Luthor, essentially, right? I mean, towards the end,
because he's Alexander Luthor in this movie. Technically, this is how he introduces himself.
Yeah.
And he's, we now know how he gets the bald head.
Right.
He's in jail and they shave him.
Yeah.
But even while they were doing it in damn, that helicopter's loud as fuck. But anyways, sorry, we're filming outside. So even while they were in the jail and he put his face to the bars, I felt, okay, this guy is fucking
crazy,
butt fuck crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Or he lost it already.
He lost it.
Yeah,
I mean, snot's coming out.
Yeah,
fuck, it's like, and he's just like ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. I think that actually, at first, I thought watching that scene that he was signaling the sound of Darkseid's little portal machine.
Yeah.
But I think he was just saying ding 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 because he was. Now looking back and thinking about it, he said we rang the bell that
right.
and I think he was just making a bell sound to signify he's coming. I mean, that's just my stance on Luthor. I'm like right in the middle. I didn't mind him. I wasn't impressed with.
I wasn't impressed with him.
I wasn't either.
I felt like he was a very whiny Luthor. I felt like he was a child who didn't get what he wanted and bitched about it. You know what I mean? When he didn't get it.
I can agree to that. I didn't really.
I wasn't afraid of him. I wanted to be afraid of him. I want to be afraid of a villain that.
I feel like he's like the kind of guy that like talks to himself in like a restaurant. You're like, I just don't want to be around that guy. Like he's weird.
He had a lot of like passive aggressive like features about his personality, you know what I mean, that I didn't like care for. Like,
here's the thing that did impress me. I was about to say he didn't impress me, but really he did. He did, but he wasn't over the top. Wow, but he did things in the movie, and I mean, look, we're talking about him more than we did the other characters as of right now, But the thing is. He did something. This Luthor did something that all the other Luthors haven't done, and that's kidnap the mom of Superman.
Right,
right. I mean,
he went the opposite. Yeah,
and like, that's pretty dark too. Like when you think about it,
and he was setting him up with Lois the whole time by kidnapping her
the whole time, which means he knew his identity. Right. Even before he hit the party, he knew who the hell he was, and he knew who the hell Batman was, most likely.
Right,
and everybody else for that matter.
Yeah, and he ties up his mom, gags her, writes "witch" on her forehead. I mean, beats her up. It looked like she was beat up. And then on top of that, he didn't outsmart Superman. He outsmarted Batman. Because he was the one that sent Batman the letters, right? The whole building explosions, the whole manipulation. He was manipulating Batman's emotion and insecurity to already knowing that Superman's a threat.
And Batman believed that it was that one guy doing it. So he totally got fooled. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Totally got fooled, but not Superman. Superman had to get essentially bribed, not bribed, but like Lex Luthor had to give him an ultimatum: either you kill Batman or your mom is dead.
Which says nothing to the performance of Lex Luthor, but the character in this series of characters, the DCU, makes him probably one of the best villains Batman's ever faced, because he's never been outsmarted like that.
Never. And I mean, but Batman was outsmarted twice. With Wonder Woman and Luthor the entire time. For 18 months, Lex Luthor was planting these seeds.
Well, he did say he's slowing down.
he had the balls enough to push Lois off the damn building, man. Like,
pushing Lois off
But
the
he
building.
knew Superman was going to come. He said, there's only one way to get his attention.
Right.
Boom.
You know?
And it worked like a... I mean,
he knows.
He's on the steps on the primary steps of becoming a very excellent Lex Luthor.
A super villain, man.
A super villain, dude. I mean, if we go Justice League route, I really
He's
want to
an evil
see.
genius.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And he has the money, the tech, and the crazy.
Right.
And the crazy. It's just.
I really hope we do see him evolving into something dark. And
If he does evolve and he does give you something a little darker, do you think then that it would actually have been a good choice to play him this way, more on the loony, giddy side, as opposed to a darker, more
the character in the beginning of the movie was just a little too jittery for me. He was just a little too over the top kind of thing. Like, it's one thing to look crazy and act crazy, but like, I hate to compare, but think of like what you see in the trailers with Jared Leto as the Joker. You know what I mean? Like, he's crazy, but you know that like the plan is still there and he's in control of it. And Lex Luthor still is, but it's just not believable.
I'm actually glad that you brought that up about the whole crazy thing, because me and Marcus were talking about this earlier when we said, hey, this is a new Batman, correct? So, you know, he's weathered and he's a little crazy because he's branding folks, but we have to get enemies that are even more crazier than Batman. And we kind of see it with the Joker and Jared Leto, because like he seems crazy, he looks fucking crazy. And then we have Lex Luthor here. You know, they kind of have to up Batman and shit, you know, that he has to do to like fucking stop him. You know what I mean?
And look at it this way: Lex Luthor has been in every single goddamn Superman movie, excluding Man of Steel. Even though there was little references there. But he's been in every single goddamn Superman movie. And the thing is we went from the Lex Luthor... I mean, taking this Lex Luthor out of the equation, every single Lex Luthor is just interested in property and power. But never have we seen the Lex Luthor side where he's like, he just wants to destroy. He wants to kill Superman. And he will go at any lengths, killing your girlfriend, killing your mom. I mean, he's pretty good. You know what? As I'm talking about him,
as you're saying that, I'm thinking it's better because the times that he's giddy is when he's in the public.
Yeah,
that public Lex Luthor is the one that is weird and kind of like, what the hell. But when he's actually doing his criminal stuff, that's when he's more on the darker tone.
And that's what I liked. That's what I just wanted more of that. But I guess that's the whole point. I mean, he builds up to that.
Right. As I'm talking about it, I just swayed myself to the positive. Like, instead of right in the middle, I will say Jesse Eisenberg is a positive. It's just different. You gotta keep an open mind when you're watching this movie. This is not the Batman that you're used to seeing. This is the first time you're seeing Wonder Woman. This is not the Lex Luthor that you're used to seeing.
Not the Superman you're used to seeing.
Not the Superman you're used to seeing, for that matter, too. And it's like, do you guys want to see
the same
thing over and over again, man?
Goddamn thing.
It's very symbolic, bro. Look at the painting. You gotta take what you know and
look at the painting. Yeah, flip that shit.
Flip it.
Speaking of villain, Doomsday. I mean, what do you guys think?
I kind of liked him, man. I like that he evolved. I didn't mind that.
Too.
Yeah, I liked how he evolved. You know, the design was kind of. I felt like it was lazy a little bit. I
looked like Nemesis out of Resident Evil.
Not even Nemesis, Tyrant from the very first thing. He kind of did. I mean, you know what I mean? He had one bigger arm than the other, and I was like, man, that right there is a T-virus recipient.
Yeah,
I like how it wasn't. The look was okay. It was. They could have fixed him up just a little.
It was plain. It was simple.
It was just, I did like that he kept evolving. I think he evolved twice.
Yeah.
And his bones were coming out. So I mean, if he didn't die then and there, we could have probably seen the fully evolved Doomsday that we're used to seeing. But the thing is I like how they. Well, people knew that Lex Luthor is the one that created Doomsday, but he technically didn't. He just used the knowledge of the Kryptonians to recreate.
And he used the Genesis Chamber.
Exactly, the Genesis Chamber. So it wasn't. You can think of it as the Kryptonians creating.
You have to think about it too, because what did he say? It's like blood of my own or something.
Yeah,
so
he used his own
genetic
blood.
material.
It's part of him in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A question that it raised after watching the film was if Superman is indeed alive, can't Doomsday be alive as well? I mean, this can't be.
Yes to both.
This can't be the last time we see Doomsday, because there's not a true way that we could kill
him. The
him.
thing is, though, about Doomsday is how he kept evolving. Like, I think that added to the scariness factor for him, because every time something would change on him, he'd let off like another big ass wave,
right?
And it caused more destruction. Like the more you let him go on.
But since he was killed with the spear, you think he gains like a resistance to it?
Well,
then he would be unkillable. If you really think about it, his only weakness at that time was the kryptonite, because he's Kryptonian.
Yeah.
If he's immune to that, dude, good luck. Good luck finishing him
I mean,
off.
he's mixed now with a human, right? So maybe there's like other weaknesses now that we maybe haven't figured out.
Or what if they bring him back and then the person that kills him off is actually Darkseid himself, just to show his extent of his power?
For the record, if you were to do that to Doomsday, just like kill him, I'd be like, how the fuck are they going to kill this guy? You know what I mean? Like, they took all their resources to kill that guy, and he just killed him with ease. Like, first of all, for the record, I don't think they should bring him back. I think it's done. I mean, we have. If they do a Superman standalone movie again, which I think they will, let's bring Brainiac back. Let's bring Brainiac.
Bizarro.
You know, like there's just a lot of more enemies out there. You know,
even Lex himself. I mean,
Lex Luthor, yeah,
and like in a power suit.
Power suit, that'd be cool. Yeah.
So now let's get into the possible negatives because I don't know where you guys stand at all. But well, first of all, did you already give your negative?
My negative?
Was that the Flash thing that you were just like, oh man, I just really don't like that?
It wasn't a negative for me. It just bothered me. Like, I wanted to know more. You know what I mean? Because it just left me with more questions.
When Blu-ray comes out, bro, you will know.
Yeah.
Blu-ray. But any of you, like, any negatives on your guys' end?
The only negative that I had really was I didn't like the first part with Lex Luthor. I thought the first half of the movie, it was just like, he was annoying to me. It was just, I think if you're trying to prove to me how crazy you are, that just sounds dumb. I think it takes away from it. That's the main negative I had with it.
What about you?
It would be nitpicking, I think, at this point, but I didn't like the music when Superman died. To me, it made it a little cheesy with the piano theme. It kind of, they could have done a little bit different and made it more dramatic, I guess. It seemed a little on the cheesier side, almost expected, heroic death theme.
It was, I think, a little kind of Easter eggy, because like his casket and like the little thing on the wall where everyone was gathering and like putting their flowers and stuff. It was silver and black, right? Which is like his color.
Which is the color when he comes back,
right? So I mean,
I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah,
the
Reign of the Superman storyline, and then he comes back with that black and silver suit.
Speaking of Easter eggs, before we even get to like the full blown negatives, which we already sort of did. But speaking of Easter eggs, there was Perry White calling him Smallville.
Oh yeah.
Telling he also said at one point, like, this is at 1938, which is the first issue of Superman. That's a good Easter egg. I didn't even catch that. There's just a lot. I got to rewatch it just one more time,
a third time,
just for the Easter eggs.
because I'm pretty sure there are plenty of Easter eggs in there. But I also wanted to bring up, what about, I can't believe we haven't covered this, the actual fight between Batman versus Superman. What do you guys think?
just that saying, if I wanted it, you'd be dead already, I think fully applies. Because the only time Batman had any type of upper hand was when that gas grenade went off on him. And even that was temporary. You know what I mean? It got to the point where he was beating him up, but while he was punching him, you could hear his chin like getting harder and harder. And he was until he didn't do anything else.
That was actually one of my favorite moments. He hit Superman with a kryptonite grenade, and then he was causing damage to Superman at first, but over time it was wearing off, and you just he would sock him in the chin, and it would be like an actual hit, and then it would slowly get harder and harder, and then at the end, Batman punches him, and it's just like it doesn't even faze him, right. And you just saw the first oh fuck, what did I get myself into moment, from Batman. It was just like, holy shit. And he just,
because what happened? Because he backed up, and then you see him like hover, and he's like, oh shit, he's gonna get you right now.
Yeah, because at that point he didn't know the full extent of the weakness. He just kind of went into it knowing that it does weaken him, but
how much?
Or if his powers will come back. He probably thought that they was just like, that was it. That was the killing blow.
Exactly.
It was like, no.
I think so too, and I think he kind of took it a little lightly. And this is, I guess, the only downside of this fight, which I thought was just a little dragged on, was when he threw him down all the stairs and he grappled down. Like Superman was down there for a long time, right? And then he had a chance to grab the thing around his leg, drag him, and then the whole point of that was just to swing him around the room, like
it was to exhaust him, really.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're taking so much time, and you're giving him time to heal.
That was a cinematic effect, though. It was just
I felt that was necessary to show Batman's brutalness.
Yeah,
because he just didn't give a fuck. He was just like, I'm gonna make you feel all the pain that what I mean, that you caused all these people, including me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's kind of the case of, if that's how he really felt, what did he do in order to get to Superman?
But then
they killed all kinds of people. I think what I mean? So is he any better?
I think they cut the scene where he bleeds, though, because I remember the trailers. He gets punched in the wall, and he's got some blood coming out of his nose, so that got cut
for sure. I mean, that scene did happen, but the blood wasn't there. I don't think.
Or the scene where he's like hovering, you see Lex behind him. Remember, like in the first trailer,
right? They cut that too.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure.
Because remember, we were already thinking of that was Bizarro,
right?
Because
our thought was that it could possibly be Bizarro.
Yeah.
I don't know what scene you guys are talking about.
Where it's like it's
just
Luther.
A split second.
Yeah, it's like Luther in the front, and in the back is Superman, but he's like faded out.
But there's also a scene where he holds him against the wall, and he's got blood come down his nose.
Oh, you're talking Batman, but he's talking
Luther.
No,
Superman.
No, I know.
Right.
Well, I'm saying
you're talking the scene with
yeah.
So your scene I did see, and that is when Superman flew down and Doomsday got awakened. That scene was there. The blood thing was not there, for sure. That scene happened, but the blood was not there. I think I was kind of surprised though, because I thought there wasn't going to be a clear winner. I thought they were going to leave it open, like, it's a draw. But there was a definitive winner there. I mean, Batman could have killed him.
He could have given them the coup de grace.
Look, I know that so many people are going to use that, like, oh, he could have killed him right then and there. But
the truth is, right here is they both could have killed each other if they wanted to.
Yes. And that's how Superman started the fight, because he didn't go there looking to fight. He was like, I have to convince him to.
He was already holding back. He showed up holding back.
And that's what he said, stay down. Like,
dude, he just threw you up a building, bro. He just threw you up a building. Like, he could just throw you into outer space if he wanted to.
That's how the fight started. Boom. Like, but he just pushed them.
You know what, though? I think Superman at one point, I think he wanted to kill him, because
I think he did too.
They both got up and
flew at him.
Like, Superman closed his fist. And then he flew at him, and then Batman hit him with another bullet, the second round of bullets, a split second before he got hit.
Right.
And
he still took some damage from
he still took, well, his mask came completely off. And I'm just thinking, oh man, if that punch was at full power, his head would have came off. Because he went from Batman not being, just to give you an idea of how strong he is, there was a scene where Brian mentioned Batman was punching Superman in the face, and it wasn't even doing it. It was just like, I mean, he didn't even he didn't even
bleed or
blink. He didn't even like move.
It's like getting hit with a straw or something.
Yeah, he went from that to when he got hit with kryptonite, he was blocking Superman's punches. That's how much weaker he got. So it went from that to that. So I'm just thinking, if Superman landed that blow on his face and it ripped off the entire metal from his head, I could only imagine what it would have done to him at full power. Like, it would have just been like,
that would have been crazy.
out.
Yeah, he would have taken him out for sure.
Yeah, that would have been like, what's that movie with Jason in the Bronx where he knocks the fool's head off?
We would have had Jason 13, Jason number 7, part 2.
Jason number 7, part 2, bro.
What was it, Jason in Manhattan or something?
Yeah.
The thing that I could say about this fight is I felt like there was no real like consequence to the fight. Like, it didn't even need to take place, really, and there was nothing to lose from it.
It took place just for Batman, really.
I mean,
he's
like,
the only one that wanted to fight.
It was really like fan service for me. Like, it was a fan service fight, strictly. You know,
And, I mean, it lasted only like 7 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If that, out of the 2.5 hour long movie, 7 minutes, you know? So, and it happened towards the I would say the last 30 minutes of the film for sure. That's when it happened. But I'm just thinking, what'd you think of how the fight stopped?
With Lois Lane coming up, don't kill him.
Yeah, she intervened.
When he was like, don't let
Martha.
him kill Martha.
I think, I think that just shows Batman's weakness, really.
Human side.
Well, I think that's one and the same.
that
in
he's
his
more
case.
broken on the inside.
That
than,
saying like, Martha, who told you that? Who did you hear their name? Like, come on, man.
I know, like, that really like shattered Batman. Like,
Like it stopped him right in his damn tracks. That was the kryptonite to Batman.
I know.
It was Martha.
Mention his mom.
Yeah, he could have killed him, but he
Got
pissed off.
You know what? I never added the two together. It's like, yeah, they actually do have the same mom's names. But he stopped it. Why'd you say that name? You know, he was going crazy essentially, and you know, it took Lois Lane coming in there and be like, "That's his mom." It's stupid, but it was. I think right then and there when Batman kind of realized, "Oh shit, it's his mom." I think he was connecting the dots, and he finally realized, I got duped. I think I'm duped.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like fucking Lex Luthor got me.
Yeah.
again, the third time. Time. You gotta be twice with the letters in this.
So,
Kid.
half of the movie could have been cut
And
out
a
if
Wonder
Batman.
Batman gets fooled. Dawn of Justice.
Part 2.
That's what the whole movie was. A lot of it happened because Batman just
He wasn't on
acted.
point, yeah.
You
You know, 'cause
gotta.
he got tricked.
You gotta up your game, Batman.
You know
He
what I
was
mean?
the most easily manipulated out of the
Yes.
whole goddamn thing.
But
much was.
I think it was just due to his age at this point. I think he's
Well, he did
not
say he's
thinking about it
slower,
anymore. Yeah.
Don't let all this fool you. He's the best Batman that
Yeah.
we got. So I'm kid you not. He's the best Batman we've ever had.
We're just being highly critical.
Yeah. Oh, one of my going back to the final the negatives. That's actually one of my negatives is the fight. It was like 7 minutes long, and I didn't like the way it ended.
Yeah.
Me neither.
And and for that matter, I didn't like the way it began. I thought it was going to be like a fight of morals, a fight of principles, or
Agreed.
something like that.
I agree with that.
Not one man looking to fight and the other man trying to save his mom.
Right.
Like I had, I
would never
I
thought
didn't-
that.
Yeah. But that's my only negative.
I think
I think that disappointed me a little bit too.
I think me and Marcus kind of expected what we saw in Daredevil with the Punisher, like, you know, them on top of the rooftop, explaining
he
to
hasn't
each other.
seen
I've seen that part.
He's
Like
episode
their
4 or something.
two like point of views, and I thought I was gonna get a better version of that actually,
Yeah. Unfortunately,
but we didn't get that. So.
Unfortunately, we didn't get that.
I think if that fight took place earlier in the movie, we might have gotten that.
And I was expecting multiple fights.
I was
Yeah.
too.
I wanted
You know?
that.
There's
I
only
wanted
one
that.
fight.
Right.
1 7-minute fight, dude. 1 7-minute fight.
Yeah.
The rest was like, don't fuck with me.
Look, but
all right, I won't.
in Dark Knight Returns, it really was a short fight too. It was an 11-minute fight because that's how long the timer was set for the mansion to explode.
One quick positive that I forgot to mention as far as one of my favorite scenes is I like this film is heavily influenced by The Dark Knight. There are some scenes
Death
that
of
were
Superman.
just and Death of Superman exactly. But I loved it when they were Superman was in outer space and they shot the
the
nuke.
missile. Yeah, that was
cool.
like almost
nuke
like the
like just like the Dark Knight when he had to stop the atomic bomb or whatnot, and he was all like
over Cortel Maltese. Yeah, the fight,
and
he's all decrepit and shit.
Yeah, and I just thought, wow, that's something. I thought for sure, and Doomsday didn't essentially get phased by them. In fact, he evolved even stronger after the blast.
Right. And it took Superman some time to actually recover from that, which is kind of surprising. I mean, I can only imagine if like the United States, if they saw like the actual damage that they caused to Superman, they wouldn't need kryptonite. You know what I mean? Just throw like 3 or 4 nukes at him, and he'll be gone essentially. You know what I mean?
Get him back in space though.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
Like get him in space. But that was the other cool thing that I saw. Anything else that sticks out in your guys' minds as far as like good scenes? I know I'm putting you guys on the spot.
I just liked every Batman scene, man, where he was actually doing some sort of fighting or maneuvering, escaping, looting. I like the driving of the Batmobile. The Batmobile scene was great.
Batmobile was awesome. Yeah, it was cool.
Going into the ship and then shooting its way out. And
are you talking about like the last fight scene where
when he meets Superman, sorry, and he tells him to stop wearing the bat suit.
He's like, "This is your I'll give you
the
mercy."
Bat is dead.
This
is mercy. Yeah.
I was really, really impressed by the last fight scene with Batman.
Yeah.
Saving Martha Kent's.
Right. I love that scene, man.
And it goes to show you that I think this is the beginning of like their awesome friendship. Because I mean, imagine
he saved his mom, man.
It's like, how much trust do you have to be like, no, you don't save your mom. Let me save your mom. Right. You know, you take
human.
care of this. Yeah, it's like, let me, like,
it's like, I can't handle that guy. You take him.
Yeah. I got your mom. I'm gonna be behind the rock.
I'm gonna be behind the rocks with the one bullet, waiting for the right time.
I'm gonna be hiding in the night,
waiting for the
you
right time.
You got this, guys. You got this.
Call me when you need me. I'll be there with the one round.
I'm your guy.
Shit. Oh man, I'm gonna just dog on him all week on that one. But I can't think of anything else really that's
bad.
That's
or
bad or memorable. That's like, speaking of, I just remembered something. Going into this movie, I was like, I don't want a Batman origin story, but dude, I think this is the best origin story I've ever seen of Batman. It kept it short, simple, just showed me a few images, maybe 5 minutes worth, and we already knew the whole story.
It was in the title sequence.
But I mean,
it was in the title sequence.
It was referenced like 3 times in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it just flashbacks that same scene.
I guess it's very nitpicky of me, but it is one of my negatives.
Me too.
Because
Me too.
We've seen it already in how many other movies?
But not like this.
Oh my
But this
God,
is the first introduction of him. You
not like this.
It's the same thing.
I also like
same
his
thing,
ascension
though. It's
in the
Oh,
well
the
with the bats.
ascension with
I've
the
always
bats.
envisioned him kind of being empowered like that. In the Dark Knight Return or the Dark Knight series, I kind of expected that.
Beautiful imagery, dude. Beautiful imagery.
There was a lot of symbolism actually, because we see Superman as a Jesus-like figure.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought it was very fitting. I thought it was very
yeah.
fitting
Messianic
that Batman made
figure.
the lance, because like if you want to get into symbolism, Jesus was technically killed by a lance.
yeah, he was, yeah.
You know what I mean? That stabbed him in the gut while he was being crucified.
Right.
So you know what I mean? the lance kind of killed Superman. I mean, because he was by prolonged exposure. You know what I mean? Because he was right there, and it kind of killed him. You know.
I like the way Zack Snyder in the opening credit scenes, the beautiful imagery of the gun,
right?
The
cocking back
with the pearl necklace.
With the pearl necklace.
Yeah.
Everything was so beautiful.
Yeah.
The
Mom got
imagery
a shot right in the face.
Oh shit. And he, like you said, the bats lifting him up, kind of like
a baptism in a sense.
A baptism.
A baptism.
A bat.
Damn, he's just jumping all over you, bro.
Oh,
Where you at?
I'm grappling all over the place.
He's like Jesse Eisenberg behind the bars. Ding ding. Ding.
Oh, did you catch that little Easter egg at the cover of the Dark Knight Returns with
Under his cape?
No, when he was like when
he was
Batman
grappling.
was rappelling, and the lightning shot, it hit, and it was just like
It was like the lightning.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to mention is Jeremy Irons.
Oh, he
as
was a good
Alfred.
He was great.
He was such a good Alfred.
He was
involved. First involved.
He was very involved in like creating the weaponry.
He was his
and
mechanic.
dealing with the gadgets, and I felt like
I felt like
you about to say something bad about Jeremy Irons?
he was a good.
This will still can't
He
get
was
over
a-
Scar killing Mufasa.
He was a, okay,
Still got that against him.
Look, he was a good Alfred, but the only thing that I did not believe was that him and Batman were too similar in age. It didn't look like he was taking care of
I
him
actually
from a
like that
child.
though. I actually
know.
like
But
that.
what I'm saying is it doesn't technically make sense. Like he should be older. You know what I mean?
How about a really fit 60-year-old?
But I think that's only because we've gotten
Well,
to
you can-
known Alfred and past
in
things
that case,
like
you would-
that.
Even if
you
he
know?
was 60, think about this.
What if Alfred was like early 20s?
early
Batman was, like,
30s.
10.
SAS.
But there's no way, because we already
Why
know
not?
the Batman story.
He's just used to the Jeeves.
You're just
He's used to the Jeeves. You know what I mean?
He was
The
a
Jeeves
young
Alfred.
butler. He
Yeah.
was a young butler.
Mid-20s.
Yeah.
Came
First
up with
job at the
early
Wayans
20s.
mansion.
Why not? I mean, I didn't see them too similar in age. I mean, Jeremy Irons had like extra lines on his mouth and just like
Yeah,
extra
but Bruce
bags
Wayne
under
had
his
like
eyes.
gray hair, bro, and
That was
like,
painted on. Come
Oh,
on.
come on! In the in the Flash scene where his hair's blowing, I see more gray than fucking black, bro.
If you had to hide behind rocks with the rifle, you would too.
He's like, I'm actually 30, but
I know I'm actually
the stress ages me.
I can't do anything no more.
Oh shit! All right, guys.
Stressful
The moment of truth.
Ratings time.
The rating. What do you guys rate it from 1 to 10? The rating from 1 to 10. And do you recommend people to see it?
All right, I'll start. Mine changed. Mine was about 7.5. With the second viewing, it's about 8.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The whole score.
Oh man, all right.
a whole point.
I would give it the same thing. I'd say an 8.5.
And I recommend it. I recommend it.
I recommend it too.
I am with Leo on this. My original score. When you watch this movie, you got to keep in mind. I was telling these guys this that you're going to be conflicted because or at least some of you guys are. There's going to be the fan side of you that wants to give it a certain score, and maybe the critic side of
movie
you,
critic of you.
is going to want to give it a different score. For me, the original thing was a 7.5, 8 in my first viewing, and then after the second time, I had to give it an 8.5.
Yeah.
I have to give it an 8.5.
8.5.
I don't understand how some people give it a 5.5, 6.5.
Right.
I'm looking at
It
you,
wasn't
the Collider.
Maybe
Really? Collider gave it a what?
I'm looking at you,
Oh,
Collider.
yeah, I give it like
5.5,
6.5,
6.5,
7.5.
7.5.
Really?
That's some
But yeah.
bullshit.
Really?
Yeah.
They must have had some really high hopes, man.
Some bullshit. Some bullshit.
That's some Disney conspiracy thing going on, bro. They're paying them, man.
Damn.
I mean,
Disney
Rotten Tomatoes did have like a low 30s score or something
Yeah,
like
they
that. I
did.
mean,
Yes.
they're not alone, but still,
I
come on.
cannot believe that. I cannot. The movie is not perfect by any stretch of the word, but come on, it's a
5.5
good movie.
is
It's a
just
good
like,
movie.
whoa.
And on that
5.5.
note of it's a good movie, Toby, what do you think?
By the way, I recommend it.
I would like to say first that I really do recommend people going and watching this movie. I believe this movie has to succeed not only like in a comic book like level, but also like money wise.
Box office level, yeah.
Yeah, box office level, so we could get better superhero films. We need competition. We need this competition with Marvel because like Marvel's kind of just dominating with everything else.
Right.
And usually when people like dominate in whatever they do, they kind of get complacent. Then we start seeing lackluster products
Sure.
coming out, and I don't want that with
You gotta step up the game.
either Marvel or DC. You know what I mean?
Ford needs a Chevy, man.
Yeah, exactly. And while that is sad and everything, I was just disappointed with the movie. It didn't meet anything that I even thought I hoped for. I'm gonna have to give it a 3.5.
No way! What?
honestly, it just didn't do anything. There was a lot of
Collider,
things
you want to hire this guy? Come on, man. 3.5.
there is a lot of things that I liked about the film.
And you thought my Deadpool rating was incredible, bro.
Worse than this 5.5.
5.5, and I thought that was a killing blow.
This is the lowest rating ever
of Toby.
Like honestly, like it had a lot of good things. It's just it didn't.
Had a lot of good things. 3.5.
You know,
that's a non-viewable movie to me.
I think
you can't watch that. How can you recommend it?
How can you recommend it?
I highly recommend it. Go see it.
Because like just because I rate it a certain way doesn't mean that
We're gonna watch this video. He has 2 negatives versus like 7 positives. Like 3.5.
I realized that I could be very harsh about rating.
A little too much. I
think he's part of the Rotten Tomatoes critics rating.
He got paid by Disney. That's why.
There's no Disney money at my house, bro. But
holy shit, Toby!
It's just I don't know. Like it felt.
Give it a 4.
Give it a 5. Damn.
Give it a 5.
For the viewable factor that it's viewable.
It's the same
Come
rating
on,
as
bro.
Age of Ultron to me.
No way.
What,
I
you
feel
rated
like
Age of Ultron 3.5?
Yeah. And
You
I
know
feel
it's
like
on a
I
10-point scale, not a 5, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they're the same movie. Like they didn't really
Say it into the
give
mic.
us. I feel like they're the same movie, and I didn't. Like they mean nothing to me, like the movies. You know what I mean? I feel like they don't advance anything really, other than the fact that it's just competition. I guess
Would you give
for
that
Marvel.
again, bro? Would you give that an 8? I don't trust you for nothing.
I'll say this: when I first saw it, I was
I
yelling shit out. I was upset too.
I didn't have like a good time watching it. Like
Your review right now says otherwise.
but I said that there was.
I
good
highly
things.
recommend it.
There was things that I liked about it.
3.5.
And that's okay to like hate something and like certain things about it. You know what I mean?
The critic side of me gave it a 6.5 the first go around.
Yeah.
But even that I thought was like hard. Like 6.5. But the fan side of me 7.5.
You know what it is mine's the opposite. I think critic-wise, just watching a movie for entertainment purposes, I gave it a 9. But I have to kind of nitpick it a little bit, and you have to take it for what it wants to be, and that's why I kind of knocked it down to an 8.5.
I think in all seriousness,
You give it a 5.
I think I expected a lot out of it. I like off the top of my head, like I could tell you that I didn't expect anything because I was scared. I was scared to have these big ass expectations, but like somewhere deep inside of me, I had them anyways. You know, I really wanted it to level the playing field with Marvel. You know, in one movie. And I guess that was like a little bit unrealistic for me, you know, I guess. Because Marvel kind of set it up through what, 8, 9, 10 movies, I guess. And
I had that same feeling though.
It's like, man, I really wanted it to be something that like, you know, Marvel's kryptonite, you know? Like give us something that makes Marvel have to work better, you know, and harder at giving us a better product.
I think you're adding too much of your bias into your rating.
I don't have a bias. I don't have a bias toward DC.
I feel like
love
they could
DC.
they should do what Marvel's doing, but like more better. Like that's what you're saying. That's a bias,
But
bro.
Marvel has like a winning formula, and nobody can deny that. Like they're taking over even the gritty and the dark shit of what you're supposed to be expecting from a DC film, and we got that with Daredevil.
They outgrittied Batman vs Superman.
They did.
Daredevil. A little bit.
But like for them of all people to take that away from DC. When
I don't know, man.
When Marvel's like this family
I'm listening
friendly,
to you, but you're not making no sense, bro. I don't know.
that's just
man.
I mean, like there is no bias because I love both.
Apparently, you don't love DC.
I love both. I just don't like what DC's doing movie wise yet.
Does it get you excited? Oh, let me ask you this: does it get you excited for the for a Batman standalone, for the Suicide Squad,
you know,
Justice League?
Justice League? You may.
I'm gonna hold off with Justice League because I'm too scared at this point now after watching Batman vs Superman. Although I have to say, the Batman standalone films really excite me. They really excite me. You know, I would go because I hate Superman. Okay, everybody knows this.
That's why it's a 3.5.
No,
You're one of those guys.
But I'm excited for the next 2 Superman movies. I'm excited to see more.
I can't wait to give it a 3.5.
Henry Cavill. I might even give it a 1. Anyways, but I'm excited to see hopefully Luther, hopefully Brainiac.
I want to see the same guy in every other movie
with a better portrayal with Luther. We might be getting it. Damn. But anyways, the Batman thing with I would like to see, we were talking about this earlier as well, the Red Hood.
Red Hood would be a good storyline.
Red Hood,
Court of Owls.
Court of Owls would be the last one for me.
It's a popular one.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Killing Joke.
The Killing Joke, but that would be part of the Red
Hood.
Hood.
Doing that animated version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of a little teaser too for the Robin suit that you see in the movie.
Yeah,
right?
you see, jokes on you on the.
What is he gets like beaten and fucking blown to bits? You know what I mean? Like
he gets beaten, and I think he was dumped in the ocean or something. Then he comes back.
I think he was like bombed or something, wasn't he, or something?
No, he was beaten with a crowbar.
Yeah, crowbar.
Oh.
Anyways, on that note, tell us what you guys think. Is it is your rating as ridiculous as a 3.5 or as promising as an 8.5? You let us know down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Big time super friends. Stay tuned.
Out.
Yeah.